Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. That abstract you just saw, that's what we're going to be painting now. It's on a 80 by 60 centimeter canvas, which is 24 by 32 inches roughly. And I've got just a sort of previous painting underneath just to start giving it some layers. And I'm just sort of putting in some random intuitive shapes, but they're sort of shapes that I like to play with. These sort of joined up, organic, sort of oval, circle type things. They link into each other quite nicely, but it's not going to sort of resemble the finished painting. It's just sort of a way to get me started. Although I do like these shapes because there's some nice simple, there's some nice contrast in sizes here. Yeah, the ending of a when you get to the end of a abstract, it becomes like, for me, it gets a lot more stressful because this is the easy part. But then sort of bringing it together, or, thinking that you're bringing it together at the end is difficult. And I'll try and sort of talk you through what I did. And I still sort of feel that and I often do go back to my abstracts after a day or two or a week and simplify them even more. So what you're going to see here is just sort of, it could be the layer that gets painted over later, but see what you think. And just, this is the way to do it. I think just work in layers, acrylic layers, intuitively draw and paint how you feel. And if you have a design or a sketch to work from, that's great. You should definitely do that. It does help. I mean, it always helps if you feel strongly that that's what you want to paint. If you're not 100% sure that that's what you want to end up with, and you want to sort of let the wind blow and see how the painting turns out, then this is how I sort of do it a lot of the time. Just because it's sort of more of an exciting journey. So I'm just using these colors randomly as well. When I say random, it's probably, something, I'm choosing the colors, but I'm not really working on a color scheme right now. So I know that's a bit of a phallic shape there, so I'm going to have to work on that. There always seems to be something like that in my paintings. It always pops up and I have to look for it and then try and cover it up. It's not too offensive, so I'm not worried. So I like the contrast with paint and line. Contrast is very important with abstract paintings. You've got to get different sizes working with each other. Obviously, you don't want everything the same. You want some movement for the eye to just enjoy, to keep interested and moving around the painting. If you have a painting in a home, you want that painting to be viewed multiple times throughout its life, throughout the person's life or their children's lives. So I think it's kind of important to do the best you can and make it resonate with people, have something of interest and something different, that they're not going to see in other paintings or in their daily life. You want to sort of put your own feelings and subconscious whatever onto canvas, and if you're happy with it, chances are someone's going to find something to enjoy. Someone out there will like that painting. I find that the good abstracts that I paint almost always find a home, and yeah, it does mean that sometimes I don't paint great abstracts, and then I have to sit with them for a long time and paint over them, or try and figure out what's wrong with them, or trash them, or I just believe in them and I just leave them as they are, and eventually someone will like it and see what I saw in it. So it's it's kind of a difficult thing. So I'm signing the painting here, but as you're going to see, I still decided it wasn't quite done. I love using acrylic spray paint. I found here in Porto, where I'm staying for a short time. It's not too. I found a shop called Montana Art Shop in Porto, and that's their product, the spray cans, their acrylic paint. So they don't really have that solvent. I think it's a bit healthier for you. And they seem like they're good. They're good colors. They're nice and strong. So I'm using a mix of spray paint and paint, palette knife and brush, line and texture. And then, things that sort of are underlying are gonna, in abstract painting, it looks like it's very, very random, but the more you work at it, the sort of more you'll repeat certain areas, you'll work into certain areas just because they appeal to you and you feel there's something there. And they will strengthen, sort of, as I've said before, like, the neurons in your brain, the pathways strengthen the more you think about something, the more you go over something, the more you learn something. And it's the same, I feel, with a painting. There's the sort of parts that you like and keep going over and work on are the parts that are going to be strongest and will survive the whole, the process of destruction and adding on and painting over. So it's really exciting, I think, doing one of these things. It's kind of like I could liken it to sort of a jazz improv. With this kind of painting, there's so many ways you can go. You want sort of exciting shapes. The difference in the shapes needs to be interesting. There needs to be a kind of a design, kind of a thought behind it, which isn't always apparent as you're working on it. But when you get to the end stages, you have to sort of start being quite critical about what's working, what's not working. Even if it looks like very busy, it might work, and often I do need to simplify things. And it's always easier to talk to someone about it, I think, and get another person's opinion. I think neutrals and greys are great to sort of play off brighter colours against. So it's still not done at this point. It looks like it could be done, but I decided to keep going. I think I wanted to make that yellow mass just a little bit more of a big shape, because I thought that the shapes there's not really one dominant big shape. So that was my thinking at that point. So I don't know if I think I stayed with that at the end, but I did add a lot of lines and things. The other thing is, I think, I think you've got to do many of these paintings to sort of silence that inner critic, because I still, I can still look at these paintings and just want to change them, and I have to just leave them as they are sometimes, and just do another one or another 10. So if you're watching this and you also do abstracts, let me know in the comments, and if you have a website and you'd like me to comment, or you want to chat, get in touch, and I'd be happy to take a look at your work. It can be quite isolating being an artist, and we often don't reach out enough as we should. I think, if you look at the Picasso and his band of impressionist buddies and abstract painters and that, and in New York, Rothko and de Kooning, and those guys, they pushed each other, and we don't really have that. We kind of just look at Instagram and get inspired, but there's nothing like talking to friends that are artists as well. So that's the final painting, and thank you for watching. If you have any comments about it, I'd love to hear them, good or bad, and see you next time.